All right, it's the rundown. February 13th, post Super Bowl. Brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer, real vodka, real juice, sparkling waters made with vodka, not the malt like liquor like the other guys. We got the big cans, the big boys, 700 milliliters, peach and pineapple. Everyone knows the deal by this. I probably conservatively had 9,000 of those this weekend and 9,000 Cane's chicken fingers between the two of them. Just chicken finger High Noon diet. And my stomach may have paid the price a little bit for it. Like when you eat nothing but Cane's chicken fingers pretty much all week, that hurts. Okay, so let's get into it. Super Bowl, great game. Great game. Dan, you obviously lost your legacy bet. Our Philly guys, Max, Roan at the game. They have to pay you back for the tickets. I didn't see much of Smitty. He probably didn't. Did he post anything?
No, that tweet though hurt when he's like, when we win by 30.
Oh, the one I retweeted. Yeah,
retweeted.
Yeah.
It was. I mean,
Just for those who didn't see it,
Yeah.
he's like, I don't wish for injuries, so I hope Mahomes comes back, so there's no excuses when we win by 30.
Yeah, tough.
And
it was tough.
Dan, you just sent me the clip of Max talking with you guys after, and everyone's talking no injuries, and Max is like, well, I wish he was injured.
Didn't really think that he wasn't going to come back in. I basically was like, it's a Super Bowl. They're going to do whatever it takes to get him back in. So that didn't even really cross my mind like that much.
And we were so positive.
Yeah.
We would never root for injuries. We were talking to every Chief fan we saw saying he's a tough sumbitch.
Yeah.
Because he is a tough sumbitch.
Yeah, I said I would turn off injuries if I could. I can't,
Yes,
but I
you said
would
that.
have.
Let's embrace debate because we talked about this before we got it. Is he a tough sumbitch or is he a tough motherfucker?
Looking back, I wish he was hurt.
Of course you want him to be injured. That's a no-brainer.
I know that people think it's a shitty thing. You're fucking lying in the heat of the moment. If their star player goes down and you're actually upset about it, you're lying to me.
No. Listen, it's like decorum. You have to say it.
Yes,
it's
you
like
have to
when
say it,
when a college basketball kid misses a free throw and I say they're just kids,
Right.
I'm really saying like I hope this kid falls off a bridge. Like that's what I'm saying. But you have to say they're just kids.
Well, yeah.
You say you don't root for injuries. What you're really saying is I hope this motherfucker never comes back into the game.
Yeah, I don't sit there saying I hope he gets hurt. I hope he gets hurt. I hope he gets hurt. But if he gets hurt, I'll take it.
And once he's hurt, and by the way, the obviously you had a crystal ball as a fan, and you're guaranteed victory. You would rather him stay in the game because then you don't have to. But at the point he got hurt, the Eagles, it didn't look like it really mattered whether he was going to be. The Eagles look far superior. So that excuse, you obviously like. There's no way. I mean, Dan had $200,000. Of course you want that guy. He wants his leg to fall off. You literally want it on the field.
Right,
Dude.
the whole fucking Philadelphia team or the whole Chiefs team at that point.
And I like Mahomes. But of course I didn't want him to play the rest of that game. That's crazy. But yeah. It was a tough night. People will say it's crazy. People, there's already people trying to be like, oh, you clearly hedged. I showed Hank. Dave, when you're sitting next to me, I went like 25 minutes without speaking on that street.
You were doing a lot of the car accident moves, like just holding people back. Credit to me. I won a sneaky $100,000 and I kept it under control.
Oh, I know you did. I got back to the house to do PMT and I was like, I think Dave won a shitload of money
because I started with a very casual $25,000 bet. And I had a bunch of props. I was probably even. That's all I was going to do. And then watching the game, I live bet the Chiefs at plus 175 for 20. Live bet them again plus 210 for 30. And that was before the Mahomes injury. Right. And then I that's why I was kind of at halftime freaking. I'm like, wow, I end up losing a lot because I at halftime didn't think the Chiefs had a chance.
And let me explain it. And I think real gamblers will understand what I'm going to say right now. If it was, let's say, the Bengals. I had put a future on the Bengals, and Dave and I went back and forth. I done that in December. It was 13-1. I probably would have hedged that. That's not a legacy bet. You don't get credit for picking a team in December.
Right.
I picked them in August. If I hedged, I can't go around saying 22-1 kid if you're like, well, you took off half of the 22 by hedging. So I was like, I'm going all the way in on this. I want to feel alive. I want to feel the pressure. I felt the pressure. Like I said, I didn't talk for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, you were as hyped up before that game as I've seen. And just to give people an idea how hard it is to hit a legacy bet, you had, 22-1 the Eagles?
Yeah.
I had the Dolphins at 15-1, like at week 11 or 12.
Right.
They didn't even fucking make the playoffs.
Right.
So it's like, it's
Well,
a hard
they
business.
made the playoffs. They did make the playoffs.
Dolphins did?
Yeah, they lost to the members. Frank left early.
All right. Sadly, I had to leave early.
Oh, the Bills game, right?
Yeah.
My brain
Well,
doesn't
yeah.
work anymore. My brain's just, my brain is kaput.
Post Super Bowl week is always like, I need like.
weekend of Super Bowl is you're not
Yeah.
even a human.
I-
Dan, I remember I said to you on radio how, unfortunately you're one of the worst gamblers of all
Yeah.
time.
No, I know.
And so, are you expecting something soul crushing to happen? And you were kind of like, no, I think it'll just be right. I mean, and then you get hit with
Well,
one of the worst calls of all time.
Well, let's get into that then. I don't have that in that level. I thought it shouldn't have been thrown. I don't know whether this Bradbury guy is the classiest guy to ever walk, but in my mind, he has diffused this by saying it was a hold.
Yeah, but he's saying that's the right play by him so that he doesn't look like sour grapes. Like, I think by him.
Yeah, but to Kevin, he could have been like, it's a tough call. It's
Yeah,
like
but
not one play.
I
He
think-
specifically said he held.
I think that's because maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. If that's me, I would say that while full well knowing the whole world has my back saying that.
I don't know.
Okay.
So that didn't diffuse it at all for you?
it
Not
did
really.
for me.
It did for me too.
It did for me. And a couple things on that. One is I know that like people are mad about the call, and rightfully so. But I really like the Eagles defense is what lost them that game. The better team won. The Chiefs were
Yeah, I was
fantastic
gonna- it wasn't like it was-
in the
it
second
wasn't-
half.
yeah.
They were incredible.
He's probably the one to score a field goal anyway, or even if it goes to overtime somehow, they probably continue.
Well, it's a sliding door. It certainly wasn't. Well, you have certain plays where like a penalty is called or something happens, and if that didn't happen, it's literally mathematically over. If that penalty was not called, there's a lot of football. You have no idea what's going to happen.
So,
Yeah,
I think that's actually, Dave, that's a coaching thing too. Like those coaches should have told all their defense, the only thing we can't have is a first down. So
Yep.
don't you can get burned for a touchdown. Don't get a penalty. Like that's fine if he lets him go and he scores a touchdown there, because then you have a chance. It was the worst outcome.
Yeah.
So like the penalty hurts. But what really hurts is more that like we didn't get an all-time classic ending to what was an all-time Super Bowl for 58 minutes. But at the end of the day, the Chiefs were better. Their offensive line was awesome. The defensive line of the Eagles was completely shut out. Didn't sack them once. The Andy Reid was coaching circles around whoever the Rich Gannon or no, what's the name? Something Gannon, the Eagles defensive coordinator. So in a weird way, it sucks to be up by 10.5, but I really do think the better team won in the end.
Well, yeah,
and that's kind of how I can live with that in a weird way where I'm like, I went for it, I did it, I tried, I didn't hedge, and that's gambling.
Yeah, and watching the game. So, like I said, that I didn't think they should call it. It was iffy. I don't blame the game on it. The guy said it was a hold.
I don't you think that's like when there's a bad call to end a game and you step up and you say well, there was a lot of
nobody ever does what they may be like, it's outside my hands, I'll get fined. They never I held him. I was trying to get away with it. I mean, he was.
You're right that it was more direct, but there's a million times that guys say there was so many other chances we had, or that didn't lose us the game. I think that was. I mean, Juju himself wasn't even looking for a penalty. The guys in the play weren't saying anything.
I just the way it's like it was a hold. You're saying I've seen a million guys when they think they got hosed say it in a way where it's very clear. He's saying he got hosed. I didn't get that vibe at all. He was like, no, that was the right call. But to the point of what Dan was just saying, Jalen Hurts played better with the exception of that one football. Mahomes had guys wide the fuck open. Mahomes, a couple of those plays to Dallas Goedert were impossible throws. So when you say who's the better team, you had a feeling in the second half. Can't say it was just faster. They were on defense, offense, anything they wanted to do. So I agree with Dan that the better team won. It actually broke, even though I kind of changed what I said at halftime, exactly what I thought would happen. It would be close, game pressure, and the best player on the field, those guys would take control of the game. They did.
And I just wanted one more shot. That's the only thing that really kind of is a bummer. because Jalen Hurts played his absolute ass off. Like I remember on radio when I said like the one thing that's sticking in my head is that we'll say in 5 years, I can't believe Patrick Mahomes is the underdog to Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl. I don't think that really applies anymore because Jalen Hurts did everything in his power.
I don't get it. They got to get rid of this play. They got to get that fourth down thing they do, third. They got. You can't let people put that. Is going to ruin.
Jones will take care of that.
They got to ruin because I think the Eagles could literally run that play every single play and go get a touchdown. Like they don't just get a couple inches or a yard. They get 3 yards when they do that. It's gross.
Do you think if he doesn't have that fumble 6, let's call it, that the game's different? I mean,
no.
It's different, but do you think?
Yeah, that was the only
I don't. And here's why I don't. For the most part, and we talked about real time. That play was dead. Like they weren't he was either getting tackled with the ball and they're gonna have to punt, or you punt. Now it's points, but in this, people may have a hard time following what I'm saying. It wasn't the turnover. The change of possession was happening no matter what. So like the Chiefs could have gotten the ball and just go down and scored.
Well,
Eagles scored coming
Eagles
back
answered right away.
Well,
but also, if you somehow go into the half up another score, because that changes a lot.
And giving the Chiefs free points that Patrick Mahomes didn't have to get is always really bad. It also it's not as much about the fumble; it's about the offsides on 4th and 1.
Yeah,
they were about to run the play.
Yeah,
and they were that
was very reminiscent in a weird way to the goal line. Like when Michigan, it's like you because you can't stop Philly. That was a guaranteed first down. Changes it, fumble. That's a sliding doors thing, Kevin. Like the Chiefs, the way they reacted and did everything, they came across like they could have done whatever they needed to do to win the game. By the way, it's also another stat. I can't believe that's only the second team ever to be down double digits at halftime and win.
And the Eagles scored the most a Super Bowl losing team has ever scored. So that's pretty crazy. It was the only thing that I regret. The only thing I would have liked to see different is I would have liked them to see them play on a fucking real grass.
Yeah, that was crazy. Shame on Roger Goodell.
Dude,
shame on him. Shame on him.
The defensive line slipping like constantly.
Terrible.
And it was both sides.
That wasn't one of those things where they import the whole field.
They were growing the grass specifically for years, I think, for this game. Roger Goodell, it's just crazy. They spent $800,000 to get. He's too busy, and it's on the list. Hugging the players like he's on the team. That made me puke. Did you see that video? What is he doing? He's a commissioner. Act like you have some degree of credibility. He doesn't. I know I broken drum, but what was that hug with the winning team? Have you ever seen a commissioner do that?
That was crazy. The and like I said, gambling's gambling. Money comes, money goes. It was more about the legacy of it being I called 22-1. That's why I didn't hedge. That's what hurt the most. I started to feel a little better last night when Roan and Max came back and just watching them they were as low as low.
Listen, we're all very fortunate. You're in a good place with money. You being part of that story in a horrible loss is how it's supposed to go down in the Barstool record. When the book is written, when the movie comes out, you have to lose that game in heartbreaking fashion. Yeah. So money comes and goes. Moments like that don't.
It made great content. It made incredible content. That's obviously our job. Watching them, because we all know fandom trumps gambling, and watching them beaten down the way they were, that, next year I'm not going to pick the Eagles again. So it's I was there this year for the ride, but that's not my team. So, So to see them as down as they were, the only thing that hurt after that. So I felt better after watching them. I got Orlando Brown.
I saw him tweet at you.
Yeah, he tweeted me. He was one of the guys I barked at the Burt Kreischer show. You were there, Kevin.
Yeah.
I barked at the offensive line of the Chiefs being the Eagles got some dogs. They're coming. They're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he tweeted me just a picture of him with the Lombardi on the bus. And then about an hour after that, Patrick Mahomes hit me up and he just said, "Sorry, bud," with crying face emojis. That really hurt too. And I like Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how you can't like him. He is really, really fucking fun. He started a legacy now. He is.
Oh yeah.
He's already a Hall of Famer. To start your career, five straight seasons, 5 Pro Bowls, 5 AFC Championship games, 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl appearances, 2 MVPs. he's on a different level. That's a legacy. Like, he is now vaulted into an area where if he can win 2, 3 more, it's like he is one of the best all time.
So that goes into the next question, I guess, which is on here with you've heard not just, I guess, Mahomes, but people are starting to throw around dynasty, which I think is insane. Like, 2 is not dynasty. Is Phil Simms Giants, were they a dynasty?
No, they have to win a third.
Yeah, they got to win a third. But people are saying it.
No, they have the making of it, because I think there's 2 things with the dynasty. You have to win 3. You have to win
Agreed.
3. I think that's the limit. But it also is you have to be there every year. Like,
in the mix.
Like
you can't be the Giants with Eli.
Right.
You can't be right. Yeah,
right. And the Patriots obviously were that, where it's like every year the season starts, you're like, it's most likely going to end with the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Back to Mahomes a little bit. And again, my perspective has totally changed because, and I've said this over, you view everything when you're in the arena. Oh, I'll go back to Roan, and that reminds me. The Roan and Max thing. I've said this a million times, and I'm not just saying it because I've been to a million Super Bowls. I have. I've been blessed. I'm lucky. I got a million rings. You know that. And if you saw their clips, there is nothing, maybe a national football championship a little, but the Super Bowl, it went, like, if you go to a home game and you lose the AFC Championship at home, you're surrounded by your people. Everyone's crying together. You go to a Super Bowl, you have people celebrating right in your face while you're dead. Every play is a war. That game's back and forth. You're screaming. It is the most exhausting, like, demoralizing experience when you lose. When you win, it's there's no feeling like it. In that game, back and forth, those guys, you can die on the field. Like, people, like, fans aren't part of the team. Go to a Super Bowl where your team's in it in a game like that and tell me you die. There's no sporting experience like it.
Yeah. They said they were just sitting in silence for 15 minutes after the game. Also, Max was wearing his ridiculous sweatpants. He was a total mess. He lost his phone on Saturday night, like the worst day to lose your phone. He was wearing his ridiculous sweatpants. He was wearing jeans underneath, because I had told him, I was like, if the Eagles win, I will do everything. I will exhaust every resource to get you guys into the Eagles party. So he had jeans underneath, so he was going to ditch his sweatpants and party with the jeans. So he walked.
Are they lucky sweatpants or something?
No, he just was like, he just put them on, and he was like, I'm going to war with these. And, like, he said that the sun was beating them down in the first half. He's wearing 2 pairs of pants. Like, he just looked like the most beaten man I've ever seen.
Patrick,
I offered him $1,000 if he cried. I was like, I'll take $1,000 off, and he almost cried. He was. You
know what killed me?
Sad.
And I can't get upset for either of them because they both got rings. But watching Jason Kelsey hug his mom, and, like, it was like a real mom and son hug. Like, before she was like, "Okay, gonna go celebrate with your brother."
Yeah,
now.
right.
Oh,
They had a good embrace, and Travis was kind of crying after. I tell you, the Chiefs, it's what is starting to say. When you're in the arena and your team has a legitimate chance to win it, like when the Patriots were playing, Kansas City was coming up, and we went in there. I hated them. I was like, I don't like these guys. In Mahomes, he's one of the more likable guys we've had. And people, even what he does, and I've been paying as close, like, the Super Bowl is the reemergence of his brother, Jackson Mahomes, who started dancing behind. I actually am now increasing my respect for Patrick, that he lets him do it. Like, he knows how much people hate that.
Yes. He could easily, like, sit the fuck down.
Yeah, and he lets them. And
hard for me. And he's like, I'll let my brother dance and I'll go win.
Yeah,
anyway.
and I think he knows, like, maybe his brother gets bullied. He likes doing it. And he's like, I don't know if protective is the word, but he's definitely not like, you stop embarrassing. He's letting him do his thing. He does his. I never hear him say anything that I'm truly like, oh, that's cringe. Kevin, I was telling Dan this story. We could get the clip somewhere. And I think a lot of people would have been mad. It was kind of funny. It was really mean. But at the, like, press conference before the game, a reporter, he's like, it was to Mahomes. He's like, hey, Rihanna said you're her favorite quarterback. What does that mean to you? He's like, oh, I'm sure she's going to slay it at the halftime show. Half my family probably more excited to see her. It really means a lot to me that she say that. And then the reporter's like, she didn't say it. He was just like, and he, yeah.
Brutal.
Why the fuck would you do that? What
Just to make him look like an ass. And he's
What
like,
did
he's
did
like,
he say, like,
oh,
okay.
you got me up here like giggling, and I was like all excited. It's like, all right, I don't like. What do you want me to do?
fucking, that's the
Yeah.
biggest dickhead move I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
but everything he
Ever.
does, he handles. He's never for how good he is, and now his accolades and his success. He seems wildly grounded, and to be honest, Hurts too. If you go all the way back, which is not, I'm not breaking news. The way Hurts handled when he got benched at like. How many guys do you think would handle it the way he did? Almost none nowadays. It's pure class all the time. And I think those, because of that, though, obviously, I mean, you don't have to say anything about it. Mahomes could break his leg, never play. He's in the Hall of Fame. You know,
I
again,
do think also the Travis Kelce bit where every single time he yells that they got disrespected, like with the Bengals, they did.
I thought they got disrespected this game. I said that
Yeah,
all
but
along.
everyone expected, like, we was like, no one expected us to be here. It's like you were the second, like the Bills were the favorite to start the season.
No, I
You were
agree
the
with
second.
that in the beginning. But Dan, I thought, and you knew that, the sense was every single fucking person you talk, I not the beginning of the season, but everybody was picking the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, I said it too because I felt that there was a level like Mahomes is on a LeBron level now where it's like you're expected to win, and if you don't, you know, you're a bum, you're a loser, whatever. But also, I don't think it was like a shock, like Kelce being like, nobody said we were going to do this, and we did it. I mean,
No, but they were like you had the Burrowhead thing coming into Kansas. It's like
you can't equal that every single time. I think people know that Patrick Mahomes is the fucking greatest quarterback ever, maybe.
The Mahomes is so likable.
I mean,
I was waiting for you to listen. If Patrick Mahomes continues as he's doing, I don't care what you say.
he'll have to play till he's 60. What is he? He's won 2 in how many years?
In the beginning, Brady was
How many years? He's been in the league for how long?
In the beginning, Brady was not what Mahomes is, and you're lying.
Yes, he
if
was.
You say he was.
Yes, he was.
No, he
Kevin,
was not.
Kevin. Before he came in, the Patriots were terrible. What are you talking about?
There was never.
Brady does not get the credit. The second Brady came in, they won the Super Bowl. I don't know what more do you want?
He was not like the MVP of the league. Reason why they won those Super Bowls.
No, listen. It took Brady
I
to
mean,
win
it's
like
crazy
this
to
7.
say otherwise.
People wanted to say Peyton Manning was better than him his entire career. He kept winning. That is crazy. Tom Brady is the
there
difference.
was a
He goes
point
to
that
Tampa Bay, they win. That's just crazy. Like. He may not make sidearm flashy throw. The resume is so far beyond reproach that you should almost be excused from this rundown right now. That's crazy. Back me up. They just said
There was definitely like once he got Randy Moss and threw 50 touchdowns and
he was won 3 Super Bowls before Moss came.
He wasn't doing it the way Mahomes.
But it was
doing.
him. That's the only thing that changed.
If you're putting up the numbers that he like the numbers that.
But he just finds ways to win Super Bowls.
But that's different than what Mahomes is doing. Mahomes is like the reason why.
But Brady was the reason why. They don't give him credit for that.
Belichick and an unbelievable defense and a superstar roster.
As much as I hate it, the second he left the Patriots, they went down. He goes to Tampa, they win.
Right, but I'm saying the only point I'm saying is that in the beginning, Mahomes has done it from the jump, whereas Brady
he won 3 out of his. Didn't he win? He won 2 out of his first 3 or 3 out of his first 4.
But those. What was it? By the third, it was when he was like establishing himself as.
That's just because he was a 6th round draft pick that people didn't think was good, but he was. We just didn't know what we were seeing.
All right, so I don't think Mahomes is anywhere close to Brady right now. He's got a lot of work to do. He is 27, so he's got a lot of work to do. The question is, the better question I think is for this debate, can Mahomes win like 5 and be better than Brady? Because if he wins like 5 and also has like 5 or 6 league MVPs,
Dave said no. Dave said it's
like,
all about.
Is it just like if Mahomes wins 5
MVPs? Yeah, like. Because winning.
Because I think Brady could have won the MVP every single year.
Oh, like no, Brady, that's not necessarily true.
Well, Brady just doesn't. Brady is not the Flash, but all he does is win. I mean, go look. All right, if you're going to look at the team, and you listen, you took Brady off, the team went down. He went somewhere else. They won. It can't be more clear. Go look at those Patriots stats during that reign. It's insane. So I don't want to hear it.
Either way. Mahomes is 27. He's definitely on the way to being
All-time
maybe
great.
he won't reach Brady, but he will. He's definitely
Maybe.
easily on the way to being the second best of all time. Because
How long has this dude been in the league?
Why are we not assuming that?
How long? 5 years?
5 years as a starter.
And he's 26?
He's 27.
7.
So he's won 2 of the 5 years.
Yeah, he's
And
gone to
went
3.
So
1,
4,
2,
10,
and he's won
6,
2
15.
MVPs.
He'd have to play for 15 years.
And he's definitely gonna. Why? Are we
But
not, like, that's
well, he
what's-
may.
like-
But he may. But I'm not convinced.
That's,
The-
like, what Brady did is going to start to be the norm because of actually like what we had the debate earlier in the week. You are going to have 20-year careers.
But
You're
Kevin,
not going to get injured. You are going to have longevity. You're going to have. They're going to make sure that he has superstar talent and a superstar coach around him forever. It's not a matter of like longevity. Like if he'll have a long career, he's gonna.
but
And if he plays at this level and he has tons of MVPs, and if he falls
care
like
about
1 or 2
MVPs.
Super Bowls short,
I don't care about
there's
it.
2 things though,
I care about
Kevin.
rings.
One is
That's what I care about.
money.
that's crazy though. What if he wins the MVP? Let's just say hypothetically, he wins the MVP every single year from here on out, and is 1 Super Bowl short of Brady. You don't think he's the best?
No.
That's
Well, yeah, I
crazy.
mean, if he wins like 13 straight MVPs,
That's
that would be
fucking- that's
insane.
stupid. That's asinine.
The question is though, what's going to start happening is his contract kicks in this next year. Because there's 2 things that Brady did that are very hard to replicate. One is play to 45. I don't know if that's completely the norm because Brady was a fucking freak and a
So he may
maniac
not want to. A lot of people
about
may
his
not
health.
want to play that.
And 2 is the money. Like Brady always didn't take the max amount of money. What's going to happen when Mahomes takes the max amount of money and they have to build the team differently? Because that's really what it comes down to. Is I think Mahomes his play will be there. It's you have to turn the team over 2 more times for him. He has to win a Super Bowls with 2 more completely different teams.
And I'd also say right now there is a unbelievably strong crop of young quarterbacks. So it's not like
But
he didn't
Brady
just
had that
take.
too. Yeah, Brady had
Well,
that
yeah,
too.
well,
Brady was Manning was
Well,
with,
Manning was
you
a
know,
choke job loser, and
Yeah.
Big Ben.
Big Ben and also Rivers, who was, Rivers. But I have one last thing about the Eagles. So I know people are going to say, like, well, they won one 6 years ago. Roan kind of put it into perspective. He said that, like, what?
The heroin comment.
Yeah, he said it was winning that one was like getting a bag of heroin and feeling the feeling of like winning. And I think why this hurts so much for Eagles fans, the one they won, they were a backup quarterback. They didn't expect to be there. They really did feel like they were the best team in the league. And this was their best shot.
That's why I bet. That's why I picked against them. The change in Philly attitude from when they beat us to this year. Well, by the way, Kevin, did you hear? I saw Mr. Kraft in the. I saw Bob, my friend, walking into the hotel. I was walking out. We just had a good 10-minute "this Super Bowl sucks" session. It's like, this sucks. This is the worst. They shouldn't even play it. He's like, we'll be back here next year. It was just, we were just ripping the Super Bowl. Like, what a joke this is without us in it.
I feel that the Eagles did play like up to it. I mean, they,
it was a great game.
It's not like they laid an egg. It's not like, when you finally had, like we were saying, they had no, they weren't tested at all leading up to the Super Bowl. And if they came out and they just laid an egg because they were like not ready for it, that was not the case at all.
They
played like they belonged.
Yeah, it makes it harder because anybody with 2 eyeballs, it looked like they were coming around the home stretch and we're not going to be like.
Would you rather have just gotten 37-7, boom, blown out?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
The only thing then it makes you question your future life. So but right in the moment, yeah, I'd like to be like, we got to go back to the drawing board. Not like that game was there.
It's like Jalen Hurts is the guy. He can play with anybody.
Yeah.
All that shit. You have a bright future.
And it was also just the fact that their defensive line, I think they had the 2nd most sacks of all time. And just completely no-showed.
I do think that a lot of that, Dan, was the AFC top to bottom is much stronger than the NFC.
Yeah.
So they're like all these great teams with the great quarterbacks. They played the worst division. So that the Chiefs were definitely more battle tested. We had we'll go on this quick. Rihanna, I loved it. I thought she's great. I've always been Rihanna over Beyonce. Everybody liked that. Thought it was a good halftime show.
Yeah. The only thing I thought it was better
I mean, no, like I think what
You
she
know, we
really-
forgot. We're going back in time to Kevin. I hate everything.
No, I'm just
everybody
saying,
likes.
like, if you compare it, like, she was pregnant, so that's why she did the Super Bowl. Like, that's why she performed the way she did, which was like very, like, she's my favorite female. I think she has the best hits. She's my favorite female artist. I love her music, so her songs are unbelievable. But like comparing the performance, she performed like a woman who was pregnant. So like obviously that's.
I guess
why
I'm more
she was
meat and
very-
potatoes. I don't need all
yeah,
the
it's just
herky
hits.
jerky,
Yeah,
like bang bang
last
shit.
year, you have like tons of guest appearances and every
my God.
rapper. You have J Lo and Shakira with their signature moment. Like Rihanna just walked around the stage and
Yeah, but she has that glare.
Yeah, and she has the
they're
hits.
great
And
songs.
also,
They're better than anybody's songs. That performance itself was just like her holding a mic and singing.
it was
That's
cool
Clancy
in the
for you.
in the bar. Everyone was singing along to like every fucking second.
I couldn't even tell if I was confused, and then I saw videos from the bar. It was the bar making all that noise.
Yeah, yeah, and I did.
There's a lot of people in like who didn't like that though. By the way,
Yeah, Jerry Callahan, I saw. He's an old, crusty white
very-
guy
no, but
who
it's
borderline
very
doesn't even like
50-50.
anybody who's not an old, crusty white guy.
it's
He
very
didn't like it.
50-50 that it's like if she
Are they
goes-
all old, crusty white
I
guys?
thought it was awesome.
I thought it was great.
It's just not though, guys.
Well,
Like,
yeah, but you don't like Picasso and Mozart and anything that's good. You hate. We
No,
know
but
that.
I'm saying no. I like Rihanna probably more than you, Dave. I know that music. I grew up on that music more. I love her hits more than you. And I'm just saying
What does that mean?
Walk.
I've written 9,000
We got
blogs.
Rihanna off.
I mean, if you go
just
back
don't
in
think
history,
you were
I
old and like, yeah. I just
don't know. I don't know what that means. Like you're some
got a good
spring-
old-fashioned
Like,
Rihanna
let-
off.
like, let's just clarify. You guys aren't
you're
spring
just a
chickens.
Beyonce hater.
Like I may be old, but like you guys are fucking old too.
Well, you're almost 50.
Yeah, but
We're
I
still in
grew
No,
our
up-
I'm
30s.
not. You're closer to 40 than I am 50.
But that won't. Once I get to 40,
Yeah,
you're
but
going.
I'm
I
not.
get to 40,
I'm
I
not
got a
saying
decade,
I'm
and you're gonna
young,
be at
but you
50.
guys are starting to get a little like, well, you're old. Well, man in the mirror for you two. Like you
Well,
ain't.
are you old?
You two.
You
Am
were
I old?
when you were 40?
Yeah, I was.
No, you weren't. You
Yes,
were
I
doing
was.
DP 40. You were clubbing. You weren't old when you were 40.
I didn't want to do that. I got dragged to that event. You think I wanted to do that?
You loved it. Get out of here.
I didn't love it.
You're going to be 50 before we're 50. Fact or fiction?
Yeah, that'll always be the case.
Yeah,
Put it
that's
this way.
true.
If it was a different singer,
But
Who
you
just-
two both have kids. And I know you think it's the greatest thing in the world. I think it's a sucker's bet.
No, it's
but
not.
it is going to actually age
I do
you
think it's the
two.
greatest thing in the world.
Oh, I know you two do.
Yeah.
It's going to age the fuck out of you. So
there is
yeah,
no doubt. I'm
on.
surprised it took you that long to use that argument. Anybody who has a kid is older than people who don't have kids.
Exactly.
You could be 100
Exactly.
and not have kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
That should have been your argument.
I
All
just
I'm
used
saying
it.
is If it was a different
Because like, you were getting a little too the Rihanna, like I'm too old for Rihanna. I don't know what that.
I mean, you were at a time.
I-
you were like, you were older. You were older when that music was hot than you are now. If that makes sense.
What?
You're younger now than you were back then.
That's
if it
true.
makes sense. The lifestyle
That's
you're
true.
living.
You got to like 38, 39,
Benjamin
40,
Button.
and then you went back to your 20s.
I
for
always
5
liked
years.
Rihanna. Go look at my blogs. I'm the number one Rihanna versus Beyonce person in the
Because
world.
you hate Beyonce, but I'm just saying.
And I
that-
love Rihanna.
I love Rihanna's music. Fine, we're equal, Dave. Fine. If it was another,
No, don't give up, Kevin.
No,
If it
that's
was another
don't give up.
performer who did what she did, it's unimpressive. It's not impressive. Now, again, when you find out she's pregnant, it's like, oh my god, most people have their head in the toilet.
Smoky Eyes, great songs. It was I
You're
liked it.
crazy.
You
She
you
just
you
walked
hit it.
around.
Kevin, it's the singing, baby.
She didn't sing. She was lip syncing some of it.
Yeah,
No.
but in the
Yes,
I
she
can tell in
was.
the bar, it's there. Listen, you don't know what's like at a Super Bowl. You've never been. I've been to a lot of them. You have to lip sync, and the whole arena is going
Yes,
quick.
I know, but then don't tell me it's about the singing when it's lip syncing.
It was a great performance.
It was not a great performance. It's great
Yes, it
songs.
was.
It's not a great performance.
I think it's
Great
actually
You and
catalog.
him and Jerry Callahan hated it. Fine.
I really think Rihanna's so good that she could have just played her Spotify list and I would have been like awesome performance.
And
'Cause you just
honestly-
forget
That's what
how
she
many
did.
hits she had.
and her looks, I don't care. She done her whole performance is her eyes. Like she got the best glare ever. Waste Management was also this weekend. I think you didn't go at all, Dan, right?
I did not.
Shout out. I don't know. Yeah, I told you, Kevin, the guy who was. Did I? I forget.
yeah.
The guy running it. Yeah, or one of the guys, Thunderbirds, had a big pirate dog tattoo. So he was great. I heard it would be a horror story. I won't like it because there's so many drunk, crazy people. It was fun. It's a must-do event if you do it correctly to see it once. Can't really see the shots, but should mention crazy weekend in Phoenix. Just a absolutely crazy start.
That is one of the all-time like sports Armageddon collisions.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it was probably – I've never been like earlier or now. But I bet it was probably a little more fun before it really blew up. Like, isn't it like 30,000 seats or something crazy now?
I think it's been blown up for a while. The guys, for those who don't know, Riggs, my mother was with me all week, and it worked out fine. It was good. She had a good time. I'm happy she came. But she golfs. So I'm like, Riggs, can you set up a foursome for my mother and a place to play? I wasn't really even inviting Riggs, to be honest. I just wanted a place for my mother and I to play. But he invited himself, which was fine. And he's like, we'll play with my friend. And we played golf. The guy didn't say anything. And he's been in Phoenix, big wheel at the Cracker Factory. And we're playing 4 holes. And Riggs like, he's got a tattoo. I'm like, of what? Had a huge pirate dog right here. So he hooked it up all weekend. He hooked us up at Waste Management. We didn't really see people. Back path in, just sit down. So it was great. But yeah, if you had to, didn't have a hookup and had to go through all that, it's a lot.
By the way, shout out to your mom for still being able to play like a full round of golf. That's fucking impressive.
She hung a whole weekend too. She was with us last night.
She was at the bar late.
She did the whole
my mom's
week.
a savage. My mom is the opposite of my dad. My dad really struggles.
Let's celebrate your mom, not bash your dad.
My mother, I almost had to
celebrate
wrestle to
Mrs.
carry her golf clubs in the airport. My mom can go.
Oh, we don't have to bring down your dad.
My dad's a little bit slowing down.
No.
My mom's 75. My dad's 75. It happens. Mincy, what do we think of his halftime show? And obviously, I don't think. What was the snow video from Open the bobblehead?
I thought we were talking about the bobblehead.
Well, both.
That is one of the funniest videos I've ever fucking watched in my life. How you don't just give up and start over, or don't post that video, or that's the Mincy difference, right?
So are we convinced he had absolutely no self-awareness of what was going on?
Dave. You know him. He has no.
And he said it. He's like, this could be a little bit cleaner. This is a little tough. This box. So it's not like he didn't acknowledge it. Like
he's the greatest comedian of all time, and he's never trying to do it. He never even showed us the bobblehead. He did a bobblehead reveal. He never showed us the bobblehead. He kept it in the fucking wrapper, and
all he does is ruin people's.
Yeah.
People pay good money for the front row, just get ruined by Vince.
Austin mentioned, because we were talking, we're like, do you think he's aware? And he's like, well, why else would he open a bobblehead? I'm like, well, currently his entire schedule is just going to Pelican games. So he needs something else to do every night to make it different content.
March 11th.
Bobblehead.
March 11th.
Yeah, March 11th. We're promoting that.
That was such a funny, in the middle of Super Bowl week with all the stuff going on. He's like, big announcement, March 11th, Barstool meetup.
And they've been promoting that for months.
Yeah, and the halftime show, Mincy, though, just a classic example of a renowned artist leaving you wanting more. Like, I wanted more. And he hit his 2 songs and he was out. I wanted more. I wanted an encore. I thought he was going to make us clap for an encore. He's like, no, that's it. I sat there. I still want more.
Yeah, it was something. He always is something. And then we'll wrap this. I don't know if you guys saw this video. I don't know if it's new or old. I couldn't even finish it. But have you seen the video of snakes falling out of the ceiling?
Oh, my God.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
There's not much that makes me, throw my phone and be like,
yeah, I haven't completed the video.
Yeah, I don't even know how it ends. That goes from a little snake tail to 10 anacondas.
Crazy.
That should be banned from the internet. Fucking beheading videos and stuff. Get
burn the house down.
For 3 people who have been interneting for decades, to all of us be shocked by something.
Disgusting. Yeah. Could you imagine living okay? Let's say you get those snakes out of your house somehow.
No.
Then what? That could just happen any old night?
Yeah, because they lay eggs. Yeah.
No, you have to burn the house down. Those snakes are never gone. You live with the snakes.
Oh.
All right. That's it. Anything left?
Go along to the football season. Hell of a football season. On to March Madness. 4
March
weeks.
Madness. Turn, focus, move on. March Madness. Yep. All right. See you guys.
All right. See you guys.